So the basic essence of this chapter is living within your means. What are the essential steps? Step number 1, pay yourself first. What does it mean when I say pay yourself first? You got $100,000 of income coming in. You're going to take the first $10,000, right? The first $10,000, and you're going to say, I'm putting that in my retirement account, or I'm putting that in an investment account. The other $90,000 that's left over, that is what's going to dictate everything you're going to do from that point on. If you don't treat saving as the number one item on your budget, then what's going to happen to you is the same thing that happens to many, many people. They go out, the paycheck comes in, they spend it, because there's always a reason to spend money. They go through that whole process. The end of the year comes, and they say, well, where did all that money come from, right? Some of you may be making $200, $300, $500, maybe even $1 million a year, and you still ask yourself, where did all that money go? Well, it went, number one, a lot of it went to paying taxes unnecessarily, but a lot of it just went on buying things that you felt you wanted, right? But not necessarily things that you need. So you must understand paying yourself first has to come first before everything else. Critically important, what is the difference between your needs and your wants? Game changer. The things we need are basic essentials, right? Shelter, food, maybe some form of education, right? Those are basic things. Sometimes people will spend more money on things and they could turn a need into a want because they could afford an $800,000 condo, if one even exists in New York City these days, but instead they buy a $4 million condo. That's no longer a need, that's a want. So you need to be able to distinguish that. I'm going to give you a quick example of that. So many years ago, when I was doing what my son does, sitting with clients, doing taxes, was going through a particular dentist accounting records, and I didn't notice health insurance paid anywhere. And I said to the dentist, where's your health insurance? How much did you pay for it? And the dentist said, well, John, I know I need it, but I couldn't afford it because they wanted about $500 a month back then. I looked at them, I scratched my head, I said, all right, well, in my opinion, that's something you need. You have to have health insurance because otherwise you're going to be in big trouble financially. As I'm going through his records, I noticed, again, we're going back 15 years ago, there was a payment for about $650 a month, and I said, what is this for? He said, oh, that's my BMW that I bought myself. I felt I deserved a BMW because I worked so hard in going to dental school, my residency program. So now that I was making a couple of bucks, I wanted to reward myself. Motto of the story is, he needed the health insurance, right? But he wanted the BMW more. So he could have afforded it. That's just a good basic example of knowing the difference between your needs and your wants in life. And all of us go through that dilemma all the time. We want something, should we have it? Those people that have guilt every time they spend money and they know they're spending it unnecessarily on something that's a want, those people end up having a higher probability of becoming filthy rich because the pain of spending money on something that's not essential is more than the pleasure they get out of it. On the flip side, there are people, have you heard the term shop until you drop? Some people get pleasure out of spending money on things they don't need until the credit card bill comes. So it's just important to know the difference between what your needs and your wants are. So I'm going to sum up this chapter by giving you these financial action plans. At the end of every chapter of the book and at the end of each of these talks that we're going to have today, we're going to give you actionable items. If you want to take photographs of it while they're up on the board, please feel free to do so. So what do you need to do? 1, make a serious commitment to living within your means. 2, pay yourself first. We already defined that. 3, open a savings account, save a minimum of 10%, bare minimum of your gross pay. 3, make sure you know the difference between what you need and what you want. Have to know the difference. Keep sufficient cash available for emergencies. Place the financial affirmation in key places throughout your house. I didn't discuss that, but it's in chapter 1. It's just a constant reminder about what your primary financial goals in life are going to be. If you save money for a special purpose, you want to have a separate line item in your budget to allocate for that. Again, that's covered in the book. You're going to complete the comprehensive wealth management questionnaire, which I discussed earlier. That's in the introduction section of the book. And of course, right now, each of you have a complimentary copy of my book. That book is filled with great information, but unfortunately, it doesn't have the latest tax codes in it. The new book that will be available this spring will have all that. So I'd encourage you to pick up a copy of that book. Again, the title of that book is The Generational Wealth Code for Your Entire Family. I'm sorry, it's called The Generational Wealth Code, the tax-smart journey to financial independence. That's the title of that book. I've already written 2 books on this topic of financial independence, getting to point X. That was all geared to you becoming a multimillionaire dentist. The new book takes it to a whole new level. For the literally hundreds, if not thousands of dentists I've been able to help over the last 35 years to become financially independent, to become multimillionaire dentists, now our focus is keeping that wealth in the family and not only creating wealth for yourselves, but also for your children. By show of hands, how many of you have children? Most of you. Okay. What better legacy to leave them? My parents came here with nothing. They were poor Italian immigrants. They gave us a legacy through their lessons that they taught us in life, how they conducted themselves, their values, how they treated money. They taught me more about finance than any college course I took, any license I passed, basic principles. That's what chapter 1's all about. How many of you would like to leave your children a better future than you've even had? Like to think every one of us. That's what the new book is all about. I'm very, very excited about it, especially since I had the opportunity to not write it by myself, but to do it along with my 3 children. Okay, after making this commitment, you have to get your entire family involved in the process. Again, if you have a 1-year-old, might be too young to get them started at that age. But once they're able to read and understand things at a bigger level, you want to instill these values to them, your own personal values, but these financial values that we cover in the book, instill it in them at an early age, and you too will create generational wealth for your family for many years to come.